Hi, everybody. I'm in a hotel room somewhere in Idaho. I haven't been to Idaho since I was 19, and I find it looks a lot like Kansas, at least in the southern part. I am driving between Phoenix and Seattle to see my brother and teaching from the road, one of the beauties of online learning. Um, I know we are deeply into Module 2, but I am just now having a chance to make some comments on Module 1. Not so much on what you said, but on some stray thoughts that I wanted to share with you as I went through and read all of your answers. So let me just, these are in no particular order. Okay, so there was a discussion about leaders and whether or not everyone is a leader. This matters because we're looking for leaders from within the community. When we're talking about asset-based community development, one of our assets are our people. And some people are more naturally leaders than others. They have an extroverted personality. They seem to be able to speak well on their feet. They have some sort of personal charisma that other people are drawn to, but that's not necessary and not always what it takes to be a leader. I want to share a story with you. This is a true story from actually one of my other graduate classes that I taught, and it's one of my favorite stories. I've probably told it 100 times over the years. It's about a woman who wanted to work in the animal rights field. She saw a lot of things going on around her that bothered her greatly, and she began to look for a group that was doing the work that she wanted to do to make change. And she looked and looked, but she could not find a group that was doing the kind of work she wanted to do. And she just got frustrated and decided to do what she could by herself. And she just started figuring out what folks were doing in other places, other communities where they did seem to have some folks doing it. And she started doing what she could. She just started doing it. Pretty soon, some of her friends or other people that she bumped into saw what she was doing and were impressed and asked if they could help. And more and more people began helping her just slowly over time. She tells the story that one day she woke up and realized that in spite of herself, her very introverted personality, she had accidentally become a leader. And it wasn't about charisma, and it wasn't about any other character trait at all. It was just about getting in there and getting her hands dirty and doing the work and welcoming others to work alongside her, to teach them what she already knew and had learned along the way. And she just woke up one day and realized that she was a leader. She was startled to find that out because she didn't consider herself a leader. She considered herself a very quiet, introverted person, but all she had to do was set an example, and others began to follow. So that is my story of leadership in a quiet way. And all of us can do that when we're passionate about something. Okay, so another thing that came up, and I can't remember exactly whose comment it was, but it was about housing policy as education policy. And at least in our country, that's largely true. Schools are in large part paid for by property taxes, so the more expensive the residential areas and other property, the more tax flows into a school district. And the problem is that as long as we're segregated by race and financial wherewithal, this cycle is nearly inescapable and doomed to repeat itself. So the deal is that this problem about education can't really be solved either by saving public schools or by preferring private and charter schools. The problem doesn't start at the school. It's a systemic problem that has many causes, starting with segregation and inequity in our pay systems. To solve it, we need to begin weakening the structure that keeps segregation in place. I have posted in the same announcement a bunch of links if you're interested in this subject, if you're particularly interested in education and how we can make our education system better. I have posted a couple of things that you might want to read. Anyway, those are my two thoughts after I had a lot of thoughts. If you want to know what I thought of what you wrote, for some of you, I put comments in the grade book directly, and for others of you, I put comments in the comments section by what you read. So if you want to go back through your blog and see if I made any comments, I very well may have, or check in the comments box in gradebook to see your personal comments. Okay, that's it for now, and I will see you in Module 2. Have a good evening.